Ok, vamos a empezar. Roll call, call to order,
Sam,
present.
Jasmine,
Here.
Aaron, absent. Stuart,
Here.
Miguel,
Present.
All right, well, thank you, and let's do pledge of allegiance, please. A pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, guys. All right, so we are here to approve the revised amended fire contract. We're gonna try not to make the same problem as we did this past year, make sure that we are on top of it this time. And as you know, the numbers got confused because total assessed value. So we gotta get this done so that we can have money into the fire department account. And again, this year, hopefully we'll keep an eye on it and make sure that we, before anything, we oversee the numbers before that anybody does what they did last year, so that we are ahead of the game. So let's make a motion to approve the amended review, revise fire budget contract for the town of Middletown, District 1.
I make a motion to approve the amended 2025 fire budget and contracts for the town of Middletown, District 1.
Jasmine seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So, yeah. That's what we did too. Okay, approve request for Fleischmann's wastewater. Stainless steel. You know, this stainless steel, everything that the state now wants for pretty much anything that is public, they make you spend a whole bunch of money just because, you know, it's the same. But they make you like this, we have to have this stainless steel, which in this case makes sense because we are a municipality, so we move a lot of water, a lot of waste. So stainless steel lasts a lot longer. So we need to get a new stainless steel. Well, this was already gotten, right, guys? Diane, Ivan?
it was in the budget, that's what's put through the budget, and they're just asking for the board to
Approve it?
approve it.
Yeah, this was the.
Now, are these the ones that sit right over the wastewater treatment plant?
Yeah,
Jib
24 to
jib
36.
train.
Yeah.
That would go back and forth on the jib.
Stainless steel, yeah.
In the front, right? Is it in the front?
No, it's in the plant itself to work anything.
Oh, it's inside.
Right, it's inside the plant. To anything in those bins.
Let me order your pen.
Yeah, we saw it.
It would make sense that it would be stainless steel. You work over sewage. You wouldn't want to have to clean it.
That's- thank you.
Oh, God.
A metal one.
Right, that's true. It's not sanitary.
Mhm.
So,
So, motion to approve this,
seems like it's very reasonable, $4,000.
today's world, yes,
You want someone to make a motion?
please.
I make a motion to approve it.
Jib crane.
Jib crane,
Two stainless steel jib cranes.
I second.
all right.
All
Miguel,
in favor?
Aye. So, and the other one is we gotta approve Ivan to authorize
Retroactive.
retroactive to be able to sign village accounts at Community Bank,
Correct.
okay?
I make a motion to have Ivan reauthorize to be a signer on the village accounts at the community bank.
Community Bank.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, and we also need to do, the new, Diane is on our behalf, she called the new attorney's office, new law firm that has nothing to do with the municipality, with the village of Margaretville or town of Middletown or anybody around here. This is completely independent of the company, the law firm that we already hired. So this one has nothing to do with anybody around here. And we asked Diane to get somebody, that way we can look into the details of the culvert, the Fishman's Heights
yes.
culvert. We want to make sure that, I keep saying this, and hopefully this law firm is not gonna spend, it's not gonna cost too much money. They are at 300 to 350 an hour. So just so we are aware of it. And, you know, the bottom line of this is, we have municipal law that says the village is responsible. We have municipal law that says the village is not responsible. We have deeds, we have this, we have too many things that say yes and no, no and yes. So we want to make sure that for the better of the village, for the future, we make the right decision on this. So therefore, we need to go legal and say to the lawyer, this is what we have, this is where we are at. What is the village responsibility, if any? And if so, we are not responsible by law with these attorneys, and then we can say, you know what? We are not responsible. By law, we're not. So anybody can make whatever they want to make, but we already protected ourselves and the village to make sure that, once again, either we are or we are not. And that's the whole purpose of this law firm.
Sam, before you
Yes.
continue, I forgot to mention to you that the gentleman did say that they will bill as they go, and they will also allow us to make payments, like, so you, before they they'll send a bill and you agree to whether they're going.
What they're gonna do
Yes,
before they do it?
yes, and then we can
Okay.
agree to whether we want them to proceed or not,
Okay.
and how much
So-
we can pay, because we can do it in
So
payments.
at this time, and I want everybody to understand this. And I want to make sure that we are on the same page. And again, we don't need to make any decisions. We don't need to answer any questions right now. We have the board meeting coming up in June, so you guys can think about it and ask about it. We, at this point, are gonna spend, you know, $300 to $350 an hour, all the paperwork, and Diane knows better than anybody, because she's been doing a lot of investigation on this, and it has taken many hours. Am I right, Diane?
Yeah,
So with the law firm, it's not gonna be any different. So
How many days, hours you think it's gonna take?
well, that's what I'm going to, you know, so at this point, we are with, if they were going to do a grant, and if we were going to get lucky and get that grant, if the project is 200,000, 250, the grant will be like 75%.
Right.
The village will end up with the rest. We have, and I want everybody to understand this, and that's why I'm telling you. The town of Middletown will chip in with manpower. The county will chip in with equipment. Therefore, we don't have to use too much manpower, whoever the contractor is gonna win the bid. So it will minimize the cost a little bit. So I want you guys to understand this, that's why I'm saying it. So if we go that route, the village will end up with $50,000 to $75,000 if the law says we have to do it. We pretty much have everything already in place with Department of Delaware County Soil and Waters. So we stop right now, we're gonna hire this law firm, it's gonna put, let's say, I'm gonna go, I don't know how many hours, but let's say 40 hours. So if anybody wants to do the math, 40 times 325, we're talking
But
thousands of dollars.
I don't think it's.
12,000.
It should, they should be able to do it within 4 hours.
I don't know, but if that's the
You're-
case,
You're.
that would be
you're-
great,
You're an attorney that's doing research, you have other people.
good.
But, well, there should be an estimate, he's got to do an estimate, how many hours you think it's gonna take?
And that's why they just said, you know, they're gonna, before they do anything, they're gonna tell us roughly how many hours it's gonna take. If we decide to proceed and we approved it as the board and the mayor, they'll move on. If we say, you know, it's too many hours, then they will not. But Diane just said, you know, they're willing to do this. It's gonna take so many hours to do this. If you guys want to prove it, fine, we'll do it. If you guys don't, then we will not do it. Right?
Mhm.
So, again, that's one thing that we have to, you know, make sure that if we want to do it, we'll tell them, yes, go ahead. And, but before any work is done, they will let us know how many hours roughly. So, that's one.
Can I say something about that?
Go ahead. Ay, va, tu turno, por favor. Yes, Nicole, go ahead.
Lawyers, I think of divorce lawyers first when I think of lawyers. But lawyers like to litigate. There's always the chance that a lawyer is going to suggest that you go to court because the lawyer is going to make money by going to court. So I just want to suggest that in addition to looking into our responsibility, and I also suggest not only a plan in case we say it's not our responsibility and we are taken to court,
Mhm.
because we have no choice. If someone sues us, we're taken to court, right? And there's already been threats to sue us. Can they also suggest what Rob Alverson was saying in the last meeting? Which is, what is it? What did he call it? A letter of
Commitment?
commitment or something? Yeah, like that was the other thing. So we've always talked about this from the beginning. We said, you know, this could end up in court or we could figure it out. And as part of figuring it out, could he offer us a way to pull all these other people in a commitment before anything gets done? And I forget what he called, I wrote it down, a letter of something, I forget what it was called.
Future intention.
Something like that. I mean, I
Look
was
it up, because we have.
Well,
telling
the
Sam,
lawyer's gonna come and talk to us anyway, so you can ask him
Right,
yourself when
okay.
he gets here.
Yeah,
you know, just have it in his mind in the beginning,
Well, here's the thing,
that that's the other
if we
direction.
go to court,
Yeah,
we're gonna have our law, I don't know about you guys, but here's a suggestion. Have the lawyer stress, we're not paying for the court costs if we win. They can pay for our court cost, or at least part of it.
Yeah.
Because if they're suing us,
challenging it,
that's
right.
right, then they can pay for the court costs, kind of like Belzeal's did to us.
if the judge decides that is not our responsibility. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, Miguel, write down, again, you guys can write down any questions that you might want to ask the lawyer. We sit down and we ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to put it on the top. But again, this is a thing that one way or the other, we need to either say, yes, let's move forward because we are responsible, or boom, no, we're not. So now let the courts and the lawyer decide. But now we know by the lawyers and the research that we are not responsible. So, but write down everything that you want to ask, and then when we meet, you know, you guys can do your questions or your comments, your suggestions.
Actually, I was wrong, I said that wrong. They still had to pay. We didn't have to pay for theirs, they still had to
Yeah.
pay theirs, yeah. So I was wrong, I stand corrected, sorry.
So that's that, the law firm. We also gonna need to, and again, this is, for the future, we're gonna need to hire a full-time DPW, somebody that is willing to get down and dirty, that is not afraid to work on the outdoors when it's raining, and is physically capable of doing things.
Didn't you hire?
No. And then we're gonna have to have
Is
a,
it the person?
no, we haven't hired nobody for DPW, no.
To help, somebody, help with, a court?
Corky's by himself,
Oh, he is,
yes, Corky's by himself. Sean left and Corky's by himself, we haven't hired nobody yet.
okay,
And then we need to have a part-time person also. Because we have a lot of work that is, accumulated.
right,
Sean and Corky were not enough hours for them to get everything done. We have the storm drains that have to be replaced, fixed. We have the side of the sidewalks that need to be patched, fixed properly. We can always outsource this, but as we know, that's why I want to get smart people physically working, they're not afraid to work, because these are going to be on the payroll of the village. Versus we already have 2 people, DPW, and now we have to subcontract somebody to get this work done,
Very smart.
when we can get it done.
It's very smart to do
It's
that.
gonna cost a lot of money. So we need to get things done right, and in the minimal cost that we can give to the village, because if the village has any money, we can always use it for other things that are important. But right now, we're like very tight on money. So just keep that in mind, guys, we're gonna do that. We have benches that has to be fixed, painted, garbage cans that we have to get rid of, replace, because they're rotted at the bottom. So they look beautiful outside, but when you lift them, everything stays down. So,
Corky was working his butt off yesterday,
yeah,
doing weed
Yeah.
whacking and stuff.
Yeah.
mhm.
I
He
mean, he
has
was
been.
covered.
So,
He couldn't see through his glasses.
Yeah,
Poor guy, it was
yeah.
raining out there,
yeah,
attacking
So,
weeds. And I
uh,
know he was hurt 2 days ago,
yeah, he was off on Wednesday.
so.
So these are things that we have to, slowly address and make sure that we take care of these things. The same thing is, at one point, we have to look into Schneider Avenue. Do we wanna keep maintaining Schneider Avenue, or do we wanna step back? Because as we know, the village is only responsible up to certain length on Schneider Avenue, and this has been, forgotten, not talked about it. So as my recollection, I was under the impression that we are, Schneider Avenue is part of the village streets, but it's not. It's a private road. However, and I don't know how will that go, if we decide not to do anything about it, those residents, they pay taxes to the village. So we're not gonna maintain, because it's not the village streets, but we're gonna take your money. Doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
So that's why we gotta look at all, the whole thing, how do we wanna address this? So I didn't know about this until probably about a year ago.
It's too
Yeah.
bad we can't have like a quick village election and ask everyone to vote on it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, how would you do as far as the taxes?
well, the problem with that whole Schneider Avenue is the bottom is the drainage. The
Mhm.
bottom of it is fine, it's at the bottom, it's the top that doesn't have any drainage. And because of that, if you buy it, if you own that road, you're gonna have to now put drainage in from the top, because there's big ponds
Mhm.
of water
Well,
that sit up there.
mhm.
Right, it was never engineered and built.
Yeah, it was a
So-
private, yeah.
Right, so it's gotta be engineered and built. It's a long piece there.
Mhm.
And I guess the reason that they didn't do it is, right, there's so much water trying to get across there. So it's a long shot, it's a really long shot. I would say it's about 200 feet long.
A little bit more than that, but yes, yeah.
The top there,
So,
and then, yeah. But I wonder we avoided it in the past.
I have
Right.
no clue, so.
Right.
I didn't know, again, like I said,
Because we didn't want to pay for the upgrade. of-
yeah,
of
but it,
the-
again, it doesn't sound right, you know. If Diane is paying taxes on her property, but she's not getting any services, would you be happy with that? Diane? You wouldn't,
Well,
I know I wouldn't,
do they get water and sewer?
they get water and sewer,
Well, they're paying for the water and sewer, they're paying for the land. That's what you're getting your taxes for. You're only talking a small portion of their taxes is going for the road. The problem, I'm not saying that I agree or disagree, I'm just saying
yeah,
it's, the taxes pay for more than just the road maintenance. And that's a private road, which they, I believe they knew when they bought it, or they should have known, I don't know. And I'm just going by what I had heard, it's what Stuart said, plus it's a single lane
Yeah,
road, you'd have
no.
to widen the road.
and
And how
again,
do you do
it's,
that?
you know, we have, again, it's up to us to just keep avoiding the issues or take care of it. You know, it's basically that. For many years, everybody has done that, ignore them.
Well, we can get credit for it if we can take over that and get, because right
Chips.
now, we don't have any credit for that
We don't.
in chips.
So that's why we have to look at all the things, guys. We can either go for it or we cannot go for it. If we decide not to go for it, then we have to find a legal way because, you know, make no mistakes, they will sue the village for not, you know, for paying taxes and not maintaining the road. And we know there's one person up there that will not think about twice about it.
Who's that? Gloria?
So again, it's up to us, you know, what we want to do, we can think about it. Or we just do what the previous administration did, you know, just don't do anything about it and pretend that we don't know, which I think is wrong. That's why we have to, one way or the other, this is the village pays for everything. The village pays for you know, the salaries of everybody, the insurance of everybody. So we as the board, as the mayor, we need to think about what's better for the village and the village residents. So these are things that, you know, we can think about it and see how we want to address and what we would want to do. So, but that's basically it for today.
Who else is on that road? Is that also,
Groschel,
right, they've been
Right,
forever.
Carl, right.
How does he feel about it?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't spoken.
How does he feel about it?
Yeah,
I don't think, there's 3 families, Groschel, that are up there.
they live year round.
His son is there too.
Right.
Yeah, there used to be the 2 sons, and that's one of the reasons why one of them moved. And sold his house because I think he was having issues with the water pressure. You know, because he's at the top, so he wasn't getting enough pressure, so. But again, this is something that you guys, you know, as a board, you can think about how do we want to do this, how do we want to address it? What do you think would be better? We can always get the public comment on this and see how they, you know. But we wanna be, we wanna make sure that, you know, we do the better for the village. And remember, the board and the mayor is the ones that make these decisions, nobody else.
Right, so, and we should pick an attorney to ask about it too. We don't own it yet. Should we buy it? Should we own it or?
We'll
should
be
we-
maintaining it forever, so yeah,
Well, we're not making it. Yeah, yeah.
plow it, you know, fill the holes. So. But yeah, it's, you know, it's whatever we decide to do and what's best.
So I mean, if we get it, the first thing that has to happen is the drainage project.
Mhm.
That, because it was never done. It was never done, and that's why there's always anyway, that's how it has to start. It has to
Do
start
you
with
speak
it.
to John Byrock about it too?
Yes, and he recommended, Diane was reminding me the other day that he recommended not to take it.
John Byrock said
Yeah,
that?
just because of what Stuart has said. You know, there's no drainage and then we're gonna be looking into another, you know, quote unquote head for the village. So,
Right, let's. but you feel that it should be part of the village, it's part of the village. Let's speak to the attorney and find out if it's gonna be, just,
What could happen if we were to decide not to take, not to, not to be in charge of it?
Right.
Unofficially anymore. Now that they're gonna have to get somebody to plow for them.
right, I mean, we have a few drainage things that we can't get through. We got the one on Wagner Avenue, and that bleeds, now it's even from up the street, that whole little area there. Oh, right, it's gotta get,
Yeah.
it's gotta get done.
Yeah.
It's, but you think that once we hire someone, we'll do it with that.
Well, Stuart, that's the cheapest way because I have spoken to CWC twice. And as we know, right now funding is tight, very tight. The government is pulling a lot of money out. So funding is, I just had a meeting with Glenn Faulkner and John Hobo on Wednesday. And anywhere you look, the money that used to come in, not coming in anymore. So it's, it's an uncertainty right now. But, we have plans. We were always getting this funding from this agency, but not anymore. All the funding stopped. So now we have to be on our own. So, things are getting tight. And the reason why I say that, so is because, again, CWC doesn't see that as they said straightforward, because this has nothing to do with preserving or protecting the water. We will not be able to get any money from DEPDC or any of those agencies because it's just water running on the street. It's not a health issue or pollution issue. If there was something that you guys can argue and says, look, this is, if we don't send the right direction of this water, it could end up on the streams, it could pollute the water, but you have to show. So with that being said, you have to have CWC, the number one that they always use, which is Delaware Engineering, which a cost that is going to cost you $10,000, now it's going to be $100,000.
Just put the drain in.
Exactly, Stuart, that's all it
Spend the
is.
money on the drain.
We can do that, I
And
mean,
taking the sidewalk, put it, slope it, so
mhm.
so it doesn't
Yeah,
flood the
like,
road.
like I said,
or
it's
something.
easier for us to do things like this because it's faster and in the long run, cheaper than waiting and going to all of these things and spend money and time that we don't have. So it's just coming up with a plan, something that is gonna work and something that we're gonna do. I like that shirt, so I love it.
We get it.
And,
Well done.
Very nice.
because you told me about one of the hovels for that, and you said, this guy is very smart, he can, if not do it, he can tell you,
Right.
run.
Yeah.
Run, which I never got, hold of. But that's something that we should probably,
Well, and we could get John to send him over here
mhm.
because he's very in demand. But
Yeah.
John would,
Because this is something, Stuart, I don't know too much about these things, but logic. If you put these things together and you get the right
he came to my place, Sam.
items,
So it's too bad we don't have access to certain people who've been here a long time who might know what the history of Schneider Avenue is and why or why not it was private and public. I know that
What's his name, right?
they changed, like the designations of the roads changed. My road is a private road, but I have paperwork that says it's village
Mr. Todd
maintained.
might know.
mhm.
Right, but I think that, the history of my side of the Route 28 was there used to be hotels over there, the hotels are gone. I used to have a bridge, the bridge is gone.
Yeah.
So things have changed and maybe that's what made it a private road. I actually like that it's a private road. In my case, I don't want it to be a village road for a number of reasons, but if people walk on my road, I get to yell at them and say, hey, it's a private road. They get quiet,
Mhm.
But, and my neighbor doesn't help me at all. I maintain that road, so.
It's funny, Miguel, that people want but they don't wanna
The,
give,
the
or they
guy
don't wanna
next to me
contribute.
is a weirdo. I mean, I fix that road all the time. Every time we have a storm, it has to be fixed.
Yeah,
I took care of all the drainage. At one point, about 5 years ago, Hiram called me and said, you have water coming onto Route 28.
Ah,
And it was because I have two huge stone culverts that go under the train tracks. And the water is supposed to go to there, and then it gets diverted to another spot and then goes under. And it was clogged. The
Wow.
gravel went in, the mud from the storm, and so the water was going the wrong way. I fixed it. My neighbors didn't give me anything.
Mhm.
But when I put in the new access over the train tracks, before I did that, Rudd came to look. He spent 3 hours, Sam, on his hands and knees, looking for another way to get in.
Mhm.
Because my bridge, if I fixed that bridge, he looked at it, it was like $100,000
Easily,
for my little
Yeah.
thing.
yeah,
And he said, I'm gonna look around. He went all the way up Fleischman Heights Road, he went all the way down Route 28, he went through the woods, trying to find another way in. He said, I'm sorry, there's no other way in. And then I figured out how to put that road in. I
Mhm.
suggested it. It was my idea, but he tried to help.
So now, Miguel, when you put the road over the tracks,
Yes.
so when they do the new pedaling thing, or whatever they're planning to do, or the train, because they had to go to all the way up to Bel Air, or Highmont,
Yeah.
is that gonna be on the way?
Yeah, so I have a federal crossing ID
Uh-huh.
that was given to, it says official crossing.
Mhm.
I had to do it a certain way.
Yeah,
So
okay,
I put a wooden frame inside the tracks and filled it with gravel. And the frame keeps the space between
Oh.
the gravel and the track
yeah,
free.
okay,
It's
good.
called cribbing.
cribbing, is that what it
Yeah,
is?
good, good.
So I'm responsible for maintaining that
So
crossing.
see, you
Right.
did it ahead of time. You thought about it before.
Yeah, yeah,
Because somebody like me will just put the thing on top and that's it.
No, yeah. You don't want the train to fall off.
See, that's what happens when you don't know.
yeah.
The
All
train
right,
will
guys.
fall off the track
Wait,
right there.
before you end the thing, let me just
Before I end the
ask,
thing, the
before-
meeting.
The meeting. What am I doing with the lawyer, because he had his emailed and asked what was going on, are you approving today?
Yes,
Well,
we're
nobody
gonna-
approved, you just said, we were talking about it, and you said, we can discuss it, and we'll discuss it, and you can tell at the June meeting, but nobody approved him.
And the other thing that came up with the grants, if we have to go that road, is we have a deadline, which is the middle of June
Mhm.
for that grant, and that grant is for next year. It doesn't even cover this year. So whatever he decides, I mean, I don't know how he's gonna turn it around that fast.
Yeah, but the only reason why I didn't approve it, Diane, is because it's not on this paper, on the agenda, but yes, I think we agree that we're gonna approve it. Because like you said, before he does work, he's gonna send an idea of how many hours it's gonna take. And then we know, and then we say, go ahead, or you know what, it's too many, I'm sorry, we can't. So, but that's good, so, you guys agree?
I think that, yes, that he needs to look at everything first. We have to pay him for that.
Mhm.
And then he'll give us an estimate of how many hours it's gonna take to.
Is that right? I thought,
Doesn't he have to look at everything? How's he gonna know how long it's gonna take if he knows?
Right, we have to show them something.
because we're gonna meet with him, when he's
He's
gonna
gonna
come,
come down here and look at
And we're
everything.
gonna show him everything.
Yes.
Okay, good.
and then after that, once he has an idea, he's gonna tell us.
So is he gonna charge for coming down?
Yes,
Yeah, so we have to pay him initially
Mm-hmm,
to
yeah,
come
yes,
and
yes,
to look at everything.
yes,
yes.
And then he'll give us the.
And then once he knows, he'll let us know before he does anything. We understand everybody's on the same page, right?
Sam and I are gonna be there at the meeting with him.
When he comes,
I
yeah,
don't care. I just need to know, I need you guys to motion it and approve it, so I can call him on the phone and get it started.
I would just make sure you're added onto this agenda, so that,
Yeah, you can
It's on the
add,
record.
you can add right up to, yeah, you can add right up to the day of the board meeting,
yeah, so make sure
Yes.
you add it on, so
and
that
it's
it's
being
on the record.
recorded,
Okay?
it's being recorded,
Yeah, but we don't have it on this,
I know.
that's what I'm saying.
I know,
So that's the only reason why we didn't approve it officially, because it's not on that agenda. we talk about it.
Yeah,
So make
but
sure
it'll
that
be
it's,
in the minutes too, so, yep,
all
I
right,
get it.
so we go for it.
Okay,
Alright.
so.
Motion?
Motion to approve.
Who's first?
Sarah,
Motion
yeah.
to approve,
Yes.
Jasmine, I'll second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Okay.
We'll call him when we get down.
All right, guys. So let's see. The next meeting is June 9th. 6 p.m. All right. I'm just gonna do the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn the meeting?
I second.
All right.
All in favor?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, guys.
Poniendo viejo, no digo bien.
Hold on. Okay, let me talk to him and see what the hell he's going to do. He's like, he's like, goes with the wind. All right, guys.
Yeah, 8 hours.
Happy Memorial Weekend to everybody.
Yeah, oh, what's, is anyone going out for the, yeah,